Welcome to The Explainer. You know, the Red Dead Redemption series is always a hot topic, but right now, man, it is absolutely buzzing with activity. We're talking about everything from online events that are about to disappear to surprise physical releases and some really intense fan debates about what the future holds. So today, we're going to untangle all the latest news, leaks, and discussions to give you the complete picture of where the franchise stands right now.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at what's happening in Red Dead Online right now. Then we'll jump into a surprising leak about the very first game. From there, we're going to explore the big debate over an upgrade for Red Dead 2, and we'll wrap things up by looking at what fans are dreaming about for potential Part 3.
First up, if you've seen some headlines floating around about a free download for Red Dead Redemption 2, let's clear up exactly what that means, because, well, time is seriously running out.
Now let's be super clear. This is not the entire game being given away for free. Not even close. What we're actually talking about is a series of in-game online events and rewards for people who already own the game, and the final deadline to claim everything is coming up fast.
So, the most crucial point to get here is that all this content is for Red Dead Online, the game's multiplayer mode. It's some fresh stuff to do and earn if you're a regular player, but it's not a new single-player story expansion or a free copy of the base game.
The key thing here is the urgency. I mean, look at these dates. As we're talking, some of these opportunities are already gone forever. The deadline for the hardcore Public Enemy series passed on April 26th, and that final window for everything else slams shut on May 5th. This is classic Rockstar, right? Create that scarcity to get you to log in consistently before that door just closes for good.
So for those of you planning to jump back in for one last ride, this is what's on the table for the final week. You can get into the hardcore St. Denis series, you can grab some Shaffer Chaps just for logging in a couple of times, and you can earn some pretty massive bonuses on fishing challenges and those call to arms missions.
So as the online world of Red Dead 2 is wrapping up this event, news about its predecessor is just starting to heat up. Let's move on and see how this all builds into a pretty wild leak for the original Red Dead Redemption.
Alright, so a confirmed leak has given us an early peek at a physical release for Red Dead Redemption 1 on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's revealed some very interesting details about what we should expect. So the story goes that a fan over in Lincoln, England, which, fun fact, is also home to a Rockstar quality assurance studio, they managed to buy a physical copy from the online marketplace Vinted. And get this, they paid just over £13, way before its official release, and way below its retail price. One of the very first things people noticed was the case itself. Rockstar is continuing the trend of using these new red plastic cases for Switch 2 titles, which is a clear departure from the original Switch's transparent ones. It's a small detail, sure, but it's a signal of a clean break for the new console generation. But here's the bombshell, printed right there on the back of the box. For collectors and anyone who loves physical media, this was a major letdown. The box doesn't actually have a game cartridge in it. It's just a download code. This code-in-a-box strategy probably points to two things for Rockstar: huge cost savings on manufacturing and a continued push towards an all-digital future, even for people who prefer to buy something they can hold.
So here's the summary of what we learned from the leak. The platform is Nintendo Switch 2. The official release in Europe is May 7th. And just look at that price difference. The leak sold for under £14, while the official retail price is set at a much higher £35. It all paints a picture of a release aimed squarely at a new audience on a brand new console.
You know, this news about a new release for the first game, even if it is just a port, has basically poured fuel on the fire of a debate that's been simmering in the community for a long time, and it's all about its record-breaking sequel.
For years, fans have been begging for an upgrade for Red Dead Redemption 2 on modern consoles like the PlayStation 5. The game is an absolute masterpiece, we all know that, but it was designed for last-generation hardware. Players know it could be so much more with the power of new consoles. I mean, 60 frames per second performance is at the top of pretty much everyone's list. The community, though, is completely split on what that upgrade should look like, and more importantly, what it should cost.
So you have one camp of fans who are, let's just say, cynical. They've seen other publishers release these so-called next-gen patches that do very little, and they fear Rockstar will do the exact same thing. Put in the bare minimum effort, but still slap a full premium price tag on it.
Then you have the hopeful camp. They point to what Rockstar themselves did with Grand Theft Auto V's upgrade for PS5 and Series X. That was a reasonably priced $10 update for people who already owned it, and it came with real improvements, new graphics modes, faster loading, haptic feedback. This camp argues there's a precedent for a fair deal that adds real value.
And finally, there's a third group making a really powerful argument. We just deserve a free upgrade. Their logic is that so many other developers release free performance patches for their biggest games. They believe that after all this time and millions of copies sold, a simple update to unlock the game's potential on hardware that's now standard shouldn't come with an extra charge. For them, it's really just a matter of goodwill.
So, the huge thing tempering all of this fan desire is the massive elephant in the room. Rockstar's primary, secondary, and tertiary focus right now is, without a doubt, getting Grand Theft Auto V6 ready for launch. Any other project is a very distant second.
All of this, the minimal online updates for RDR2, the code-in-a-box release for RDR1, and the uncertainty of an upgrade, and naturally leads us to the biggest question of all for fans. Are we ever going to get a Red Dead Redemption 3?
Despite zero official announcements from Rockstar, the community isn't just hoping for a third game, they are actively building the case for it. Fans are writing theories, creating concept art, and just dreaming up what it would be. And surprisingly, amidst all that speculation, a really strong consensus has formed around who should lead the next chapter.
This feeling right here echoes all across forums and social media. Fans are overwhelmingly united behind Charles Smith, the quiet, competent, and deeply principled member of the Vanderland gang. His backstory is mostly a mystery, which makes him the perfect candidate to star in a prequel that explores his life before he ever met Dutch and the gang.
The arguments for a Charles prequel are really strong. He's a fan favorite, he's described in the game as unbeatable in a fight, and his blend of deadly skill and quiet decency just makes for a compelling hero. But there's also a compelling counterargument that the redemption saga is already completely rounded. Some fans argue that any sequel would push too far into the 20th century and lose that Wild West shine, and that maybe the best path forward is a totally new story with new characters.
And this leaves us right here. Is the Red Dead Redemption saga a complete two-part story, perfectly rounded and finished? Or are there still tales, like Charles's, left to be told? With Rockstar's attention fixed on the neon streets of Vice City, the fate of the Wild West remains, for now, an unanswered and totally fascinating question.